Hello and welcome back to Football Manager 2020. We have a bit of a longer episode today because we have to cross all of January without any matches taking place. And I was tempted to skip over most of that and come back closer to our Poliquin City match, but I realized if I did that, we would immediately have like 6 major trade movements and stuff, and so I figured it's better to just go through it and show it in case something important happens. Of course, since I made that decision, now probably it's going to be the most boring transfer window of all time, but better safe than sorry. At least it's not going to be as large as the summer gap we had a while back. Or winter gap, I guess, for South Africa. Keep having to reorientate my thinking to the opposite hemisphere. Got a new deal with Tau, so that's nice. At least we're not losing one of our key players. Although it is unfortunate that I had to include that release clause. I'm going to be diplomatic because the truth is I'm not at all keen about making it easier for other teams to take him. But if I say that, he'd get upset, and he's one of my key players, so I don't want to upset him. So instead, I'm just going to try to shame him into staying with us by talking up how great it is here. And so that if he wants to leave, he's going to feel like an ass for leaving. Oh, look, Manuzzi's agent is trying to stir up trouble. I always find it annoying when the agents do that. Okay, he won't talk to me. This is probably going to fall apart. We're pretty far apart on. Oh, it actually worked. I was going to say we're pretty far apart on salary. I didn't think he'd come down enough. Daniels. I feel like my board's not going to be happy I'm doing this. We probably don't have the money for this, but yeah, definitely can't get a guy from United. No shock there. Probably neither of the Germans yet. Didn't think they'd be interested in talking to me. Unfortunately, none of those players are that great, but I'm hoping to be able to sell some of them on and raise some money. And I'm just flooding the market because I suspect the board is going to block half those contracts when it comes time. Yeah, these are all delayed decision. I expected that. Yeah, no one good in the youth system either, unfortunately. I shouldn't have any trouble with getting Tunkar another work permit. I bring him off the bench fairly regularly. He doesn't start a lot of games, but he comes off the bench enough that he should have a trouble renewing his permit. Oh, it looks like Tunkar is leaving to go to Montreal anyway, so that makes it moot. Really doesn't matter. Oh, and I'm only getting him for like one more game. That is unfortunate. I really didn't want to lose him. I figured I was going to when I saw half the MLS was in the market for him. But it's fitting he went to a Canadian team anyway. He's not the kind of South African the Americans seem to be interested in. Cupido. I believe I've tried for Cupido before and it's never worked out. That's probably why he's not even an option this time. Like we scouted him, but I can't sign him. I'm obviously going to let everyone play with the reserve sides during the break because I want to keep them match fit. And the only way that's going to happen is if they're playing games. This is one of the things I don't like about South Africa, because if you don't, no one wants to take a friendly during this time, first of all. And if you don't get them playing with the reserve sides, you come back in February and no one's match fit anymore. And you basically have to go to the start of the season again. And it seems like the opponents all did keep their match fitness. So it's really challenging because, like, I send them all to the reserve sides. But I can't force the reserve managers to actually use them. And the game will just take forever if you try to manage all the reserve sides too. What a shock. Erling Haaland was Footballer of the Year. It is impressive that two Manchester City players made the top three. They must be having a hell of a season. I haven't been looking at what the Premier League has been doing this year. Makwakwena is the Inter-Club Player of the Year for Africa. That's nice. Unfortunately, he's already at perfect morale, so congratulating him did absolutely nothing from a game perspective, but it's still nice to see. And he was made the African 11 of the year. That's impressive. I don't think I've had a player actually break into that before. And we actually, for the Inter 11 of the year, we've had this one before. But this year we actually got two. We got Siasi and Makwakwena. Trying to get a work permit from a newsie. That could be an issue. Oh, come on, Brian. You've got a year and a half left on your contract. I'm not going to give the press anything on that. They're just stirring stuff up. He's got a year and a half left on his contract. He's not going anywhere. We're getting McKenna. That's a good sign. When are we getting him? July 1st, so no help for the second half of the season. Same thing with Nikosi. It's kind of nice to have that moving again. Last year I wasn't able to get anyone off of my short list. I have a couple of people coming in with this transfer window anyway. A winger and a fullback. The fullback's important. Neither of them are spectacular, but they're also only 18 and 19, so they can develop. Moses is 21. He's the one that actually breaks in. People are pretty happy in bringing him in. Especially nice because losing Tunkara. Okay, I guess we did get the board got spooked about Ndlovu, so we're just gonna give him a contract. I'm fine with that. He's fantastic. I want to keep him, and it's not my money; it's the board's. If they're like offer Brian Ndlovu a new contract, of course I'm gonna do it. But Moses hopefully will be nice cover for Tunkara since he's leaving us. A lot of fullbacks, a lot of wingers, good goalkeeper. Two of our fullbacks have plenty of promise. Two center backs that look rather promising. I'm glad we're getting lots of fullbacks because we've been struggling for fullbacks. One good South African right back from Durban. No defensive midfielders. Attacking midfielders are hard to find. No new wing backs. The central midfielders don't look like they'll ever be good enough. Wide midfielders don't look great. Few good wingers in general. Most of the strikers look like they'll fall short. Don't expect much from the intake. That's rough, but we don't have the best youth program, and the board hasn't wanted to invest in it, so that's not shocking. I am definitely scouting both of these because getting more African players is good for us. Oh no. Fuck off, Chongqing. I met his release clause, so I don't even have a say in the matter. I really hope you don't want to go to China, Makwakwana. I really want to keep you. Because that's the sort of thing that can seriously derail the season. And one of the major reasons I wanted to keep the January gap in, because this has happened to me a few times in this save, where it almost always seems to be China swoops in, steals someone key to my team over to winter break, and then it's a challenge to get to the end of the season. I usually do just a tentative registration like that at the start of the transfer window as soon as I can change it up. Just so I get people practicing as if they're part of the team. Like, I assume we took Tunkara out since we know he's leaving. And so I might as well have his replacement training as a member of the first team right away. The reserves just massacred Bush Pirates. Clearly, they are the inferior pirates to Orlando Pirates. Oh yeah, our under 21s massacred their under 21s too. McQuaquin is still really happy and really doing well at training, so hopefully he doesn't want to move to China. But the kind of money they were throwing around is going to be hard to turn down. But I suppose I have a major advantage in that it is China, so he'd have to learn a whole new language and a whole new culture. That's pretty different from South Africa. It's not like he was going to Europe where South Africa was colonized by the Europeans. They have a lot of European culture already in there. He'd be going to a completely unique culture, and hopefully that stress of that move doesn't seem worth it when we're treating him pretty well here and he stays. I've got to hope for stuff like that because he has a transfer clause or a release clause, so I can't actually do anything to prevent him from going. Pirates are trying to hire Fountain. That's deeply annoying because they met the deal too. DL Pro. Oh, good. This one was rejected because they didn't pay his release clause, and we feel he has a future. And this is where he really wanted to go. So hopefully this holds him in place. This has been a busy window so far. I don't usually get this much. Usually I can click through January pretty quickly. You need to pick up your game, Dlamini. Well, we locked Malongo in anyway. Super Sport are going for Gumede. Obi seems pretty possible. Oops. Good, we rejected the offer on Matenjua. Okay, he's another one we really want to hold on to. Not getting Tommy Doncliffe wouldn't be devastating. The problem is most of the people leaving the club are right now, while most of the people coming in are in July, so it's not exactly helpful. Yeah, everyone wants this Obi. Duncliffe looks pretty good. We do need more forwards. Like I was saying, it's not the worst if we lose him because he cuts into our foreign player quota, but he's got such a high ceiling that I would like to see him grow into a good striker. Oh, good. Fountain didn't want to leave. That's really nice because Fountain's going to be a key player for us in a couple of years, I think. At least we're able to start integrating some of the new additions into these reserves matches so that they hopefully will get some match sharpness because some of them are pretty rusty. Nidlovu signed with us, so we've got him till at least 2031. That's good. Another 4 years with him is fantastic. Wow, look at the hair on that guy. Your Savjevic has been in good form. That's nice. Oh. Even though he's been doing work for us, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't renew with him. I'm basically gambling that our financial situation will drastically improve once we build the new stadium, and so I'm hoping the board lets me get away with some spending now. Kepnik Sele. Yeah, I have no intention of selling him. We start McQuaquina every game we can. He's not leaving. Nice to see Tao getting Player of the Match awards. Well, he's with the reserves. Or I suppose that was technically the under-19s, but since everyone's playing friendlies, they're all basically the reserves right now. It's not a big deal to lose Halong Guinea, even though that doesn't go through till the July 1st. I could sell him now, but I don't like, even with us being in financial difficulty, I don't like selling people early because you never know when I might need them. And shockingly, we actually won that competition for Daniel, so an awful lot of other people were in for him. We're not getting him till July either, but it's a pretty big deal because, like I said, we're losing a key winger. I need to try to find a replacement, so whichever ones don't work out, I'll sell in like a year's time. Oh, they got McQuaquina. That's depressing. And he's left immediately. That's going to make goals much harder to find for the second half of the season. No, you're not good enough. Yeah, I'm not happy that he got sold, but I mean, he had a release clause. We can't stop it. And at least if I'm upset about the sale too, it might stave off the complaining from the other members of the team. Because I'm sure it's only a matter of time before they start squawking that we don't have any good strikers. Okay, yeah, having Luis Alvarez on our short list was probably a bit ambitious. Almost everyone we sent to a contract to has rejected us. And this is why I flooded the market with contracting offers. Oh, Lacala got called up. Good for him. And he got his first goal for South Africa. Alright, let's see who we're getting in the FA Cup. Hopefully not a Premier League team. Nope, we got Chippa. So we actually got a pretty tough draw. That's a little unfortunate. We're better than Chippa. We should still be able to beat them. But it's one of the tougher draws we could have had. And at least the transfer news has slowed down a little bit, so we're making better time for this break. Okay, he plays for the reserves, so it's not the worst. I was going to say, I don't recognize the name, but a fractured lower leg sucks. That's out. He's out for the season, basically. He might be back for a couple games right at the end. We ended up losing out on Obi. Not shocking, given the amount of teams that were in for him. Matenge was improved. That's nice to see. He's now at about his maximum potential. And February's been having a rough time. Not shocked because I don't think I've played him once this year. Although I did spend a lot of it injured. I doubt I'll be renewing February's contract. He's a very good goaltender. But Nedlovu is fantastic. And so I don't think I'll ever be bringing February in again unless Nedlovu is hurt. And I don't know if I can justify keeping that good a player on my reserves bench just in case the goaltender goes down. Yeah, this guy's a little underwhelming. Got Mathabella, that's nice. Board's very happy with that. We're getting a little more depth at some positions anyway. And like striker, we lost our good striker, but we've got a ton of okay strikers, so it's not devastating. It's not a case where if I take one injury, I've got no one to put in. And the second half of the season is much easier than the first. The schedule seems much more consistent and better paced. Oh, and the board paid a ton of money into the club just now. That's a big deal. That's pretty much got us out of debt for the moment. I think we're going to fall right back into debt because I'm spending money faster than they're giving it to me. But like I said, I'm kind of banking on once the stadium's finished, that will no longer be an issue. Johnson's putting in some good performances now. See if Tau can settle this. And he could. Excellent. I feel bad leading him on because my plan is to probably release him at the end of his contract. but I have needed to call him off the bench a couple of times, so I don't really want to have him gone. Nothing that actually requires my input here. Just a bunch of coaches giving their opinion on things. Team's schedule is too hectic. We don't have a single match this month. I know the real issue is that the board has no money. But, like, don't lie to me. Just say we can't afford it. Yeah, we're not overly thrilled to bring this guy in. That's alright. We'll probably just sell him then. Gotta try on some of these people. It's nice to be in a situation where absolutely no one is slacking on the training during like this long training spell we've got. I don't love that they're considering people to replace me. That's always an uncomfortable feeling. Although it sounds like it's if I don't sign my new contract rather than that they don't want to send me one. Okay, 1 week till the end of the transfer window, then time will start moving a little faster. Manuzzi is another well-received signing. So we've gotten more signings they felt good about than ones they haven't. I don't know how I'm getting Ned Lovo to welcome everyone to the club since he's off playing international football right now. I guess I'm phoning him up and asking him to video call them or something. None of these people I'm bringing in are doing a good job of getting work permits, it seems. There's something actually about Brian that I needed to look at. Oh, just progression. We need to get him more match experience playing at a higher level. He starts every fucking match for us. Like, I can't get him more first team football. I suppose the complaint was probably because we haven't had the Premier League match in a month. And the game's not good at accounting for you can't have matches because the league isn't on when it's giving those complaints. Our Polokwane City match has been moved back for TV. It's nice to get money for that, but it's annoying that we have to wait even longer to get our first match. Another guy that we're happy to have in. This is the first one that's looked like he's going to come right into the first team. It's been a quiet month for the reserves too. Some of these January gaps that I've played through, they've booked like 18 matches during the year. Just people are playing constantly, and this time it feels like they're barely having any matches. It's kind of good. It's allowed me to keep everyone match sharp without tiring them out. But it's odd that they made that choice. Where's the one I clicked 60? There we go. Available for 90 minutes. Oops. Made the same mistake on this one. Hopefully it's just as easy to find the person I did that to. 90. All of those are 90s. There it is. Minkube. It's been a pretty active transfer window overall, though. That's nice. I'll accept the delay. Hopefully they let the transfer go through by February 1st. If not, we just lose out on this guy after all that work. Macawena's out with a twisted ankle for 4 to 5 weeks. He's only an under 18 player, but he has actually broken into the first team once or twice. And now that we're hurting a bit for wingers, he had a chance of getting a little more first team play. Fountain's becoming very good. And he's not even a first team player yet officially. I believe he's still on the under 21s. Though I have been starting him a lot. I mean, he's effectively a first team player. I just don't think I have to waste a registration spot on him. Sure, let's make this slower. I'll take part in the transfer day. Yeah, I'm perfectly happy to let Ward leave. know they were saying it was a panic buy. I brought in Mahoa, but that's only because it got delayed for a couple of days because they couldn't find a replacement for him. So this has been one of my most active transfer windows, but ultimately that's up to the board. I just tell them who I want. It seems like the board has gotten on board with strengthening the team a bit. Keep your hands off Fortune. Yeah, I have no intention of selling Fortune. Or Fountain. I keep calling him Fortune. I don't know where I get that from. Yeah, I'm willing to let Shabeni leave. I always say that they're destined to succeed when there's a lot of pressure on them with those questions. I don't see the point to drawing unnecessary heat with players that don't play for me. It doesn't offend my team that I say this other guy is a good player, and it could potentially mess up future transfers with them if I do insult them. So I just play nice and see how they handle it. I theoretically feel much better about the Champions League lineup I have named now. But we'll have to see how these guys actually play, because I haven't had a chance to see any of them on the field yet. I'm just going off of what the scouts told me. What's Monty Bantua up about? Oh, getting left out of the Champions League squad. Direct free great. There's not a good. I think this is the. No, this is probably the best answer to not start a fight. He's not gonna like it. Gonna have the same problem with Sinago. He liked that I actually came and talked to him. And Mithien, it also has the issue. Don't read too much into that abysmal mood. They'll get over that in a day or two. It's like the initial shock. They take it horribly and then they calm down. And by next week, when we're playing against Blockwinney, they'll all be in a decent mood. Probably still unhappy, but no longer like absolutely dismal mood. Oh, he had a note. If you start clicking through the dialogue 3 and then notice that one of those notes comes up in the corner with additional things you can do with that player, finish up the dialogue tree and then go back into the menu the way I did rather than trying to click on it, because the game won't accept it once you're already in another conversation. Yeah, we're still in debt, but way less debt than we were because of that huge injection of cash that the board made. Well, now we know why Sanasi took being excluded from the Champions League team so well. Mirosevic upset about. Oh, the fact that Siasi was let go. I was expecting to have to transfer list Mirosevic. Oh, god damn it. Keep your hands off Saketlong. Now they're going to steal all my strikers. Good news is we can finally actually see our next match coming in on the schedule, so we're finally close to getting to actually play the game again. I mean, transfers and stuff are important too, but I'm letting the board do a lot of the work on that, so it's less interactive than managing matches. I'm glad we got an easy team like Pelakwane first, so I can test out who I'm going to slot in where in the new lineup. Because we've had pretty extensive changes to the team. And so it's a bit of a tuner match before we have Al Ally again. Yeah, we're going to demote Siwi some more. He's nowhere near good enough to play for us anymore. I could not loan Tunkara since he's leaving anyway. And I'm not really in the business of making players better for other clubs. But I don't see the point. If the managers of these clubs feel that he can contribute, he is still a member of the team. He might as well. At this point, anyone that's still severely lacking in match sharpness is probably not going to be starting in the Premier League or the Champions League match anyway, so we're not really losing out that bad. To acknowledge this one. I don't know if that actually does anything, but it doesn't hurt to just acknowledge it. Clear it out of the system. He's got a good partnership with Lacala, we know that. Now we're starting to have some issues with practice because people are upset. But you can see, like, well, two of the people that were super upset that they didn't make the championship or Champions League team were already sold. But there's not a lot of problem with those abysmal moods because they've calmed down and realized I can only make 7 changes to the lineup. I can't put absolutely everyone in there. Never had someone get a dislocated shoulder before in this game. Got almost 2,000 hours. First time I've seen this. It makes sense that it's in there. Just never happened to me. It's annoying that he's out injured, but he's on loan, so it's not really a me problem. At least he played well before he got hurt. Another one of our loan players is out injured. 6 to 8 weeks. He can stay on loan. They can pay him while he's hurt. I'm alright with that. Better than him than me. He's not developing either way. Finally have a fully competent right back. That's or left back. That's a new experience for me for a couple of years. That's always a discouraging report when the only news I get is that 2 players got hurt. Stano should be taking corners, sure. And Maha should be taking corners. Where are you? Here we go. Mahoa. That's it, not Maha. Actually have a decent amount of corner takers for once. 4 to 5 attackers. I currently have 1. Yeah, that needs to change. You can potentially attack. Send them out. No, you're not an attacker, that's for sure. I think we're going to have to set Matenjwa to attack. We'll have Stano attacking. Actually, he might be able to do it fully as an inverted winger. Yes, he can. So we'll have Stano attacking. And then I still need 1 more. And I think it's Safema. We're probably going to look fairly bad in this match because I've made some pretty key changes to the lineup. They've had a month to practice together, but this will be their first game. I've actually got a pretty big squad at the moment. Because basically all these guys are free to go to this match. Same thing with this one. It's not going to interfere with my actual game. Checking out injuries since we haven't had to do fitness tests for a while. Monty Bantwa is fully capable of playing the full fit match. Duncliffe is capable of playing the full match. Cabway is capable of playing the full match. And Migwigwe is not quite fully fit and should be monitored, but can go the whole match. So no one has to be pulled off early. Cooler weather, drizzle, okay pitch. Better conditions probably than we've been playing in for most of the last month. Do believe we're supposed to be attacking still. Selection. No changes to the side. We've shored things up quite a bit. Mirsavovich still isn't quite at the level we want. Cinnamella is not quite at the level we want. And Stano's not quite at the level we want. Everyone else is good. We have no more 2 stars on the field. I feel pretty happy with the changes we've made to the side during that transfer window. I feel a lot more capable of handling a heavy schedule than we were in the fall. Of course, now we're past the worst of the heavy schedule, but nevertheless, should something come up, we're actually able to deal with it. We're already looking pretty comfortable on the attack, although Stanner should have passed that second strike back, because on that angle we weren't getting in, even against a weaker team. We've been pushing it up through Taudo, who's used to playing in this formation. And Saketlan gets his 12th goal of the season unassisted. This puts us up into third. We are well above where we're supposed to be right now. I mean, it's a bit misleading because we are playing against Polokwane, but that's probably good because this will get everyone comfortable with the way we play before we host Al, which is where things get a lot more difficult. You can see, like, there's way less comfort with the formation right now, especially amongst the new players. They're not firing the ball up the field quickly. It's a lot more of hold on to it, look, see where everyone is. That's the downside with the sort of drastic changes I made this transfer window. Even though they only gave Stano 2.5 stars, so far I've been pleased with him. He's looking good. That was a case of unfamiliarity. No one was watching to see if the ball went out to that wing. So Benjamin pretty much had an unopposed run up to it. We could have easily gotten that away from him, but no one was watching there. Beautiful move by Stano to get the ball away there. He's got a good chance of becoming my favorite signing from that window. Hit the crossbar. Second yellow card to Polokwane. I think they're getting frustrated. Because this is a moment when we should be vulnerable, because we're playing a lot of people that are not familiar with our formations. Saketlong's finishing continues to be Saketlong's finishing, but he's getting in good position to receive those crosses. Now that he's probably going to be our starting striker, hopefully we can shore up that finishing a bit and he'll turn into quite a good player. It feels rough because we had such a good striker before, but he's not bad. He's just not as good. Abrahams outsped them there, but didn't have good ball control when he got it. There we go, Mirosavljevic with the good positioning to break that up. Nice strike from Stano. Mapoto was in position though. They haven't had a single strot yet. I'm pretty sure Mofocan was offside. Even if he wasn't, it's saved by Nidlovo. Yeah, he was offside. I'm pretty sure a lot of the time where it looks like they're kicking it directly into another player, like in those clusters in the box, it's less obvious if they're not in this particular view. It's just because we're seeing them represented as circles. 4 yellow cards for Polokwane, none for us. Either this ref is doing a bad job or they're really undisciplined today. We won't know which it is until the end of the match. Even in a more cinematic view, the match engine doesn't do a very good job of simulating foul or demonstrating fouls, so usually you don't know if the ref's making good calls or not. Pretty easy team talk. I am happy with their efforts. We're not finishing, but I knew we were going to be well down on finishing. I'm actually hoping one of the new wingers I brought in turns out to have really good finishing. Because I think we're going to have to get a lot more of the goals from the wings than we have been. Or from set pieces, that's another way. But not if we take set pieces like that. Stano looks to be, early on, Stano looks to be our best hope for getting goals. He seems to have a pretty deadly strike on him. Because with better teams, we can't count on putting this level of pressure on them. So I don't love that we're only up by 1. I mean, we're playing very well. And it's a problem I knew the team was going to have, that goals were going to be much harder to find following that transfer. But it's still a little concerning knowing that we're going to have to play the good teams still. A nice play by Adam. Gets the ball away for Stano. But Stano did not have good control of it. Fortunately, Mirosavic's positioning continues to be excellent. Fountain's been doing really well this game, too. I'm glad he didn't leave. Stano just got a little excited and headed that over to Bar. Alright, let's see who's not performing. Cinemella's not doing great. Oh, Stano, despite constantly being involved, is actually not playing that well. That's interesting. Guess he's getting taken off in favor of Minkubi. He must be doing awful whenever he's not in a highlight, because, I mean, he hasn't scored or anything, but he's been involved enough. I'm shocked to see a 6.3 for his rating. Maybe it just means he's capable of so much more. Because he's definitely the player I mentioned the most so far. And in a good way. I haven't had any complaints. Here we go. We'll put Minkubi in. He can be counted on. He's a little worse. Actually, he's not. Stano was 2.5 star too. Might just end up playing Minkubi end at wing a lot, depending on if Stano clears up his performances going forwards, or if he keeps getting 6.3s. Now the worst is definitely Cinemella, so we're going to take him off for Lakala. I think probably a lot of the reason these guys are underperforming is just because they're not super familiar with us yet. Because these are both new players that I brought in. And like Lakala should easily be worse than Cinemella. He's only 2 stars. Like, we're back to the 2-star winger. Or wingback, but when they're not playing well, sometimes fresh legs and familiarity just counts for more. Saketlong almost scored for us there, so we're already seeing results. Alright, last sub. Everyone's playing pretty well. It's actually Tao that's playing the worst, so we'll take him off for Nixele. He's a little worse than Tao, but probably just because he hasn't had a lot of playing time. It's still 35 strikes to 0. Saketlong scores his second, assisted by Lakala. So now we're in a comfortable position. Saketlong's scoring a bit now. Yeah, I feel pretty good about the state of the team. I'm pretty sure both Cinemella and Stano were just having bad games because they weren't used to our team, and particularly Stano was being called on constantly. So once they build some familiarity, we might actually be in a pretty strong position to put on a run towards the end of the season. Saketlang almost got a hat trick off that. Another dangerous free kick. Fury's making a breakaway though. That might have been their first shot. It wasn't on target, but it might count as a shot. No, it does not. It was so bad it still didn't count as a shot. Oh, Saketlang really wants that hat trick. He's not going to get it, though. This is going to be the last play of the game. Blockwane haven't shown a single thing to make them think that they can get back in this, so I'm sure the refs will end this right on the 94th minute. If the ref was having a bad game early with all those yellow cards, he seems to have settled in a little bit more. And given the way Blockwane have played this match, I'm not convinced it was the ref. It might have just been them. Yep, right on 94 minutes on the dot, we're going off. Ref had an unimpressive match. Well below average. So it was bad reffing. Stano was actually the only player who was making his debut in that match. Senamela played with us before, that's why. That's right, we sold him and we just bought him back. Saketlang was unsurprisingly the player of the match there. I don't know why we were praising Nidlovo's performance in that game. He didn't have to do anything. Like, no strike against the guy. I think he's a phenomenal goaltender. But they didn't have a shot on... Not even a shot on target. They didn't get a shot all game. He just had to stand there and watch. He could have had a bag of popcorn. The pressure really pushing me to call up Davies for my next Canadian squad. Like, there's any risk of me not doing that. Nidlovo doesn't like that I sold Tunkara, which isn't surprising. I hated that too. Yeah, we're not getting through to Nidlovo that easily. I'm glad we're able to cheer him up. He's an important player. Yeah, I fully agree with that F, but we couldn't compete with the kind of money Montreal was throwing around. Okay, yeah, it was Stano's finishing that got him the low rating, because he took a lot of shots, and they were all blocked by the goaltender. I still hope he's going to evolve into one of our main goal striker scorers going forward. But based on that performance, but I can see where the rating came from now. Try. This will be interesting. We're bringing in a lot of our new signings here. Easy. I suspect Minkubi will be cycled back out as we get closer. That's probably a fatigue signing. Or fatigue rotation. Everyone else looks pretty good in the positions they're being put into. This is a difficult match. We saw how hard the first match against LLI was. But fortunately, it doesn't really matter if we win or not. I'm actually recommending staying on attacking though. That's nice. What were we supposed to have? 4 to 5 support. Okay. Currently I have 3. Someone needs to move to support that isn't currently a supporter. That's a pretty easy. We'll put Stano on support. There we go. No surprise that Fountain has been excelling at training. And Mothy Bantwa is still in a terrible mood. Although we've brought him mostly back to a good mood, so that's good. CB's in an awful mood still and doing bad at training, but there's not a lot I can do about that because the only thing that'll really cheer him up is if I start playing him. And if I start playing him, an awful lot of better players have to be out of the team. So, yeah, I think it's time. I think he's just going to get sold. Probably this summer, although I'm not sure anyone's going to want him. Who do they want? Migwigwe, he's not even registered, so sure. And here, Matenjwan, Migwigwe, sure. This match is happening the day after, I think. Anyway, yeah, those are happening the day after, so they're not a huge deal. Although they could potentially tire people out for Baroka. Baroka are traditionally not very good. Duncliffe is capable of playing the full match without any complications, and Cabway is not quite fully fit, so we do have to keep an eye on him if he's in. Good conditions for a match today. Pitch is still not in great condition, but that's just a fact of life around here. Only changes to bring Tau in from Manuzzi. Interesting. Alright. I thought I was going to get Minkubi out because he's definitely not up to snuff, but I guess we're stuck with him. Who else could I play there? It's probably a matter of who's actually registered. Yeah. He's just the best person I've registered. I could put Lakala in there, but he's very tired. Mirosavljevic isn't great. Senamela is not great. Senamela has apparently gotten a little worse. I seem to recall him No, he was 2.5 stars last time. That's it. Everyone else looks good, so. Stano is actually looking better than he was last match. They have him up to 3 stars now. So I think the assistant coaches agree with me that he's probably going to actually fit in well. It's just a matter of him getting comfortable with the formation. Unfortunately, with the defense I have on the field today, this could end up as a bit of a shootout. This is not really the defense I went in against the best other team in the group. Saketlong's already getting dangerous free kicks, though. Don't know who finished that, but it was a nice finish. It's only early, but we're so far looking much better than we did last time we played these guys. Of course, we're at home now. Minkubi's been doing good work. And Dano scores his first goal, assisted by Moses. The new signings are coming in strong. This is looking like the way I wanted us to look. The board might be unhappy with me for spending a bunch of money, but I'm very happy we did. Now we're not scraping and clawing to just try to get any sort of result. I feel like we can actually win most games we play with this team. Nice run from Minkubi. And Moses almost finished that. I'm very happy with my new wingers. And this is what I was hoping for. Because I knew Saketlong isn't going to score a huge amount. He's good at everything else, but his finishing is not phenomenal. But he's like a goal a game type guy a lot of the time, unless he's getting them off set pieces. But both Moses and Stano look like they're capable of producing it from almost anything. Out to Moses again, so this is a good sign. He seems to really like swinging wide and then cutting in like that, and it's working out good for us. We're out shooting them 10-1 in the first 13 minutes. And there was Saketlong with the great positioning but terrible finishing again. Like, that's how Saketlong scores, is he's always in a good position. So even though he has a relatively low percentage on finishing, he gets so many chances that eventually something will go in. Fountain there to recover that. And now we have a goal from both of our wingers. Moses gets that assisted by Minkubi. Welcome to the team, Quanelle Moses. That was a nice goal, too, right through the narrow gap between their tender and the post. This is a different team than what we brought against Al Ahly last time. Moses beats that guy to a pass that was made to him. Couldn't get past Ulcest, though. I think they're starting to adjust to the new lineup. They're looking a little more in control now. Like, the way we were bullying them early was kind of surprising for a team of their caliber. Oh, bad pass from Stano there. Fortunately, they made a bad cross in, and Mattia was able to recover it immediately before it became an issue. Another goal from Moses, assisted by Mattia. Definitely going to be playing him more. I like Moses. I was not expecting it to be up by 3 at the half. I hope I didn't jinx it, because they could still pull one back. Although we just got it to Saketlong in a perfect position. And we're up by 4 at the half, before the half, with Saketlong getting that, his 14th of the season, assisted by Minkubi. That was a nice strike. That was a case where it wasn't just he's eventually making it one off of volume. That was just beautiful. Beats the diving goaltender right into the bottom corner. Stano's not been getting a lot of touches this time. I think he made a couple of mistakes and his confidence is gone. I haven't really seen his numbers, but I have a feeling I might be subbing him off as he assists Moses get his hat trick. So never mind. Moses is on his 7th goal of the season, assisted by Stano. This guy had 4 goals before he comes to Amazulu. We put him again in against one of the toughest teams in Africa, and he gets a hat trick. I don't know what his former club was doing with him, but they sure weren't using him to his potential. Nice try from Nkubi there, but the goaltender was in position. Fatton filling in since Moses ended up over on the other side of the pitch. Alright. Everyone's playing amazingly. Worst person out there, though, is Tau. So we'll take him off and finally get Menuzzi in to see how he is. Two and a half star, not bad. Slightly worse than Tau, but a worthwhile backup. Good pass up the badge there, but he was blocked by 55. Only person even in the sevens to sub off now is Miroslavovic, so we'll take him off for Adam. They want Safama. Shuffle things around. I'm going to go for the like-for-like rotation with Adam, though. Adam's decent. He's not really at the level I'd like him to be, which is why they wanted me to put in Safama and shuffle things around. But I do want to keep Adam getting some minutes. I think we made enough changes now that we've broken what little familiarity they had, because everyone's looking tentative again. I have a feeling Stano's adaptability isn't the best, and that's what's going on. That as soon as he gets put in a new situation, he struggles for a little while until he gets used to it. I mean, Kube scores his second goal of the season, and we are up by 6. I mean, Kube has been a great surprise recently. He just sat around on the bench and did nothing for ages. Then last week, I brought him in. I guess 2 months ago, because there was that huge break in there, but brought him in one of the last games. Scored a goal for us. Bring him in here, and he scores again. Fenton and Mattia are getting tired. There's only 13 minutes left, though, so I'm not sure I'm actually going to do anything about that. Good play from Moses there. Alright, who's our last sub? I'll listen about Mattia. He's one of the... Actually, I don't want to make more changes to the defense. Do I even have anyone to put in for Cinnamella? Could put in Lacala. Let's see who Mattia can be replaced. I don't have a good replacement for Mattia, so yeah, I'm going to take Cinnamella for Lacala. Sorry, guys who are tired. You play in positions I didn't fill the bench for you. I don't think Lacala is ever going to get any better at that position, especially now that I have someone that can actually play it. Great run from Moses to Stano, who gets his second, assisted by Moses. Those two are pairing up well together. And we're up by 7 against probably the toughest team we'll face all tournament. They have a guy named Slam on their team. I love that. Oh, they actually scored. Mosin, assisted by Magdi. Mosin getting his 14th of the season. So we're not going to get our clean sheet today. But we're still winning by 6 goals with 6 minutes left. So I think this game's an all-around success. And I don't blame Nidlovo there. He's had 2 games in a row where he hasn't had to do anything. At some point, they're going to get you off that. Let's see if Saketlong can close with a brace. I'm going to say right now, our player of the match is definitely Moses. I think he had a hat trick and 2 assists. Couldn't get another goal in, so we end only up by 6. Referee did decent. Nidlovo had gone 193 minutes without conceding before today. Mahoa made his debut for us. Stano scored his first goal for us. Moses made his debut for us. He scored his first goal for us. Manuzzi made his debut for us. And Soliman is playing for Al-Ahly. That went much better than I expected it to. Qualified for the quarterfinal. We've still got 2 more matches in the group. Johnson's settling in pretty well with the Magic. In fact, he's doing so well that we should call him back. So we'll do that. Lacala's getting tired. So we'll give him a rest. That's fine. I've got another person to play in his position now. So there you go. Have a week off. Moses was our player of the match. He's already at perfect morale. So that was a longer session, but we got a couple of good results to close it out at least. So hopefully you'll join us next time when we take on Broca and FC San Pedro. So compared to what we faced this time with Al-Ahly, easier matches, but the question becomes, can we keep this sort of a run going? Because this team seems fantastic all of a sudden, like miles better than they were last fall. But is it just we're catching people off guard, or can we hold this up? It's a while until we get real tough competition. I think Chippa in the South African Cup, in the FA Cup, is the first real challenge. Getting the second place team in our first round match was an unfortunate draw, but that's still a couple of weeks away. So we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. For now, thank you for watching, everyone, and have a great day.